Well, later tonight in November, snowfall is forecasted to hit the Twin Cities, but right now, calm outside, and of course, a calm day inside U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he returns this to the 22.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down.
The ball carrier.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
16 yards, a first down.
1st and 10 at the 39-yard line.
Here's a throw out line to Anderson. And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Cook. And he'll be brought down at about the 42.
On the carry.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Yard line.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. On 4th down, Goff. And he'll find his big tight end over the middle. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 27 yards, a big play there on 4th. Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Now Cook. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On 2nd and 9, Goff. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked by Ronnie Harrison. And they'll be down just outside of the end zone at the 1-yard line. So far this season, this defense has had their issues against the pass, so that's a great sign for them to get the early pick.
Yeah, confidence builder for them and an absolute shock for the quarterback because he went into it. He saw the numbers we saw. He watched them on tape. I think he came into this one thinking this is going to be a big day, and it very well could be. But early in this one, advantage defense.
And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments and usually only at halftime, but the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in 5 score.
He is out of bounds
but it is going to come back due to the illegal block in the back.
On first down, it's gone. Got his man, that's Tyrell Williams. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped. Right about 20 yards on the pickup. Well, officially, they'll say it's going to go for 19. Now a run with Cook. They're going to stop it right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
On 2nd down, Cook. He's got the first down inside the 10. And he's hauled away down to the 6-yard line. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 6-yard line.
Here's Goff. Escaping the pressure right. Desmond King picks him. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
I think that interception happened for 2 reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. They'll run with Mack. And he'll find some room to get this up to about the 14. Foyesade Oluwakan made the tackle there from his safety position.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
On 2nd down, it's Mack. Only 2 yards on the pickup there, and now they're looking at a long 3rd down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
On 3rd and long, it's Allen. Completes it to Samuel. And he is going to have a Panthers 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. 60 catches for him now on the year. This last one, a 1st down. They'll run it out of the gun with Mack. Looking for an opening, not much there. He'll get it to the 39. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
A 3-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 7.
They'll run it. It's Mack. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45.
The ball carrier.
Still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
And it's 3rd down.
They'll try and run for this with Mack. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. 3 yards on 1st, 4 on 2nd, and now 5 on 3rd down. Move the sticks. 2 1st downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Now a run with Mack. He's got the 1st down and more inside the 40. And all the way down to the 33-yard line. Give him 18. It's a Carolina 1st down.
A gain of 18 on the play. 1st down, Carolina.
And now they'll throw with Allen. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
Well, so much for getting separation. No chance there. Locked down tight, forcing the incompletion on that attempt.
First carry for the 2nd-year running back. It's Devin Singletary. Works his way inside the 30 on a pickup of 4. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
A gain of 4. And it's 3rd down.
To throw, it's Allen. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. They run here with Singletary. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's second and goal.
Brings up second and goal.
They'll look to run with Singletary. And this will result in him losing yardage. Back to the 3.
And now third and goal coming up. The loss on second down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder. And they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them.
And he is in. Touchdown, Carolina. Devin Singletary, his 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are first onto the scoreboard here this afternoon. Able to punch it in on third down makes it easier for those guys on the sideline. They didn't have a 4th down decision to make.
Yeah, could you feel the exhale? Because they were already thinking ahead, as all the good coaching staffs do. Anticipating, will we have to make the call? They already had it lined up. Never even got to it.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
This next drive underway. To this point, the results have not been good. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers.
And that's obviously something that can't continue, but to go a little bit deeper on that one, I would think about some play.
And yet again, Goff is intercepted. Picked by Kevin Byard. And he will bring this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Panther touchdown. So that's now 3 first-half interceptions, and that last one even costlier as it's returned for 6 points. So as a quarterback, how do you regain your focus?
Well, QB 101 says you never show them that you're sweating. Still act like you're the guy that you've thrown 6 touchdown passes, not 3 interceptions. But he's human. He's got to face up to his teammates. He's got to own up to that. See if he can brace up and also not look over his shoulder and see his backup starting to warm up. It's going to be a tough one for him.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they just had that pick 6. I guess the only positive maybe of them returning that for a touchdown. This offense right back out onto the field to try to make up for it.
I like that because now it doesn't give them a chance to go to the bench and really settle. You know, to sit there and kind of seethe over the idea that they turned the ball over previously. Right back out there. It's almost like hopping right back on the bike after falling over. See if they can get the ball moving again.
Well, we'll see if they can do it. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Rashawn Jenkins picks it off, and his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time. That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet. So they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
On second down, here's a run with Mack. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
It's a gain of a yard. And it's 3rd down.
They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. Working out of the shotgun. Here's Allen. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, they had 6 points that they were thinking about.
And a tough ask here. They're going to go for it on 4th down and 9. From the gun, it's Allen. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he's going to get this inside the 30. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling.
First down.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Allen, 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. 4 receivers to keep tabs on here. 3 of them to the right side on 2nd and 5. Allen's throw is complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
And the Panthers.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
They'll run the screen with Mack. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing is Allen on 3rd. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
Adam Vinatieri on for the field goal. A 29-yard attempt.
And Vinatieri's kick is good. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So they put together a good little drive there, but ultimately stalling out in the red zone.
Yeah, I know a lot of people look at it as a little bit of a negative. They didn't get 6 points out of it, right? Didn't get the touchdown. But that's actually okay. They got 3 points, able to give their defense a little bit of rest, let them settle down over there. So all in all, to me, that's a good drive.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
Now a play fake, and it's gone. The Panther rush too strong. They get there and take him down. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in quarter number 2. So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done. Another try after the first down sack. Goff. That'll be complete to Cook. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12. Give to Cook out of the gun. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
1st and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Now we've got movement up front. And I think this is going to be on Minnesota. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one one-sided game so far. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Panthers out in front, and they will get the football first. Second half action underway. Fielded a couple yards into the end zone, and he will not bring it out. It's a touchback. Third quarter starts with a run by Mack. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
The ball carrier.
Well, the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back down and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
And his throw is going to be incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
On third down, Allen. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Has to be a little bit of frustration there. Back-to-back incompletions. Receivers blanketed on both attempts. This time on third down.
Sanchez on to punt here as he sends this one away. Fielded at the 33. They'll score that a 36-yard punt, and the Vikings will take over here first and 10.
38-yard punt.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And, Charles, they trail by 3 scores. Look, they're not completely out of this, but it's sort of go time right now.
Yeah, and they knew that coming out after halftime, it was going to take a collective effort to get back into this ball game. The defense got the stop for them, so maybe that can get things started. Now the offense has to pick their game up as well. And if they can put a score on the board, hey, they could get back in it in a hurry.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line.
The ball carrier. He's taken down at the 33-yard line.
Play action. It's gone. Flushed out right. And now here's another interception. Rashawn Jenkins picks it off. And a return across midfield into the 46-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. They go right back to him for 20 and a first. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. And this is going to be intercepted. Lamarcus Joyner with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So they needed a break. They needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break. Taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
Now a throw here to his running back. And he'll be out right at the 35. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
The 35-yard line.
On the ground, it's Cook. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
1 yard.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
At the 36-yard line.
To throw is gone. And he'll air this one deep for Anderson. And my goodness, another interception. Picked by Kevin Byard. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me...
This is caught at the 20. Touchdown, Carolina. Deebo Samuel, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Panthers add on to their lead.
Extra point.
But this is exactly where I expect teams to take a shot. Right turnover. You count on the defense being a little bit jumbled coming out on the field, maybe catch them back on their heels, and that's exactly what they did there. They threw it downfield and really created a big play.
Yeah, you said jumbled. They were the definition of jumbled defensively. One play and into the end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
At their own 22-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
Brings up third.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
Catch made by Miller. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. That third down conversion good for 23.
46-yard line.
Flush to his right. And that's caught inside the 30. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup.
27 more yards.
Throwing again is gone. He's going to get this one down to Cook. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
First and goal at the 9-yard line.
Again, Goff. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Mackenzie Alexander with a pick. And the Panthers are going to have first and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Glad to have you with us from Minneapolis. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10. To throw again, Allen. He'll find Smith-Schuster. That's complete. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. 17 yards on the catch and run. It's a first down.
It's a gain of 17.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to victim to it themselves.
They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6. A gain of 6 there on first. And the ball on the 30. Here's 2nd and 4.
The 30-yard line.
Allen to throw once more. His short throw caught by Goddard. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up third down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and he passed him up to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Touchdown, Carolina! Deebo Samuel. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Panthers just continue to pour it on.
In order to lead in a game, you're going to get plenty of contributors. But that's his 2nd touchdown catch of this game. He's one of the key guys in this one.
And you better believe he'll be looking for the hat trick here as this one continues to go. And here's Vinatieri now to kick it away after the touchdown. That'll be taken about a yard deep. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Eluding the pressure running. His throw incomplete. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
It's second down and 10.
Line of scrimmage, again the 37 as they line up second and 10. From the gun, here's Goff. He's going to air one out for it, and this is caught. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Robbie Anderson, his 11th touchdown of the year. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit. So Goff will lead his guys up to the line to go for the 2-point conversion. Goff throwing again. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action.
Panthers 31.
3 quarters have come and gone. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis, where the fourth quarter will begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the third quarter. And they're going to mark that where it went out of bounds, so really good starting field position up past the 40-yard line. Good starting position for the Panthers as they come up first and 10 at the 41-yard line. So the shotgun snap to Allen. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
First down, Carolina.
From the gun, Allen. And he whips that one incomplete there. Deebo Samuel was the intended receiver. And it's second down. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ballgame and kept the pressure on their own offense.
19 yards the pick up there. Move the chains.
Panthers.
Operating from the red zone now. Allen dumps this one off to Mack. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make this a second down. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about...
He's got it for a Panther touchdown. On tape, his first touchdown on the year. And the Panthers have got it on cruise control. They seemingly just continue to score at will, and as great as it's been for the offense, you got to feel for that defense down there.
I love how you use the word will, because both teams came into the game with the will to win, but one team has obviously imposed its will on the other and broken them, because what we're seeing right now, wow, that's a defense that's in tatters after what they faced in this ballgame.
And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return.
1-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. On first down, Goff. And he'll air this one deep for Anderson. And now here's another interception. Picked by Kevin Byard. And he'll get this back across the midfield, striping down to the 47-yard line. CD, this defense, man, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass.
So after the INT, it's Allen. He completes this one to Mack. this one all the way down inside the 20. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the fourth, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and go like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Allen going to throw. Here, that's complete. And he'll take it from the 18 to the 15. A gain of 3. 3 yards the gain there, 2nd down.
2nd and 7 at the 15-yard line.
Operating from the gun, Allen. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Mack. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, it won't help them at contract time.
So he was past the line of scrimmage when he threw it.
And as they say, that's a no-no. Got to be able to understand where you are on the field and not cross the line before throwing the ball downfield.
Vinatieri on for the field goal. A 38-yard attempt.
Vinatieri's kick is good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That'll be taken about a yard deep, and he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line.
25-yard line.
They start the drive with Cook. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
The ball carrier.
Well, I think after that run, the defense is getting back in the huddle and looking at each other and maybe starting to question their confidence a bit. They gave up a significant run, 6 yards, and now you're saying to yourself, how do we stop them, and do I have enough confidence to make a play?
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Again, it's Cook. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
And it's pretty evident when you watch how Minnesota plays, just how important Dalvin Cook is to their offense. A 1,000-yard rusher a year before, the first one the Vikings had since Adrian Peterson was dominating their carries. And having Cook in the lineup for the bulk of the season, that made Minnesota exactly what their head coach Mike Zimmer wanted them to be. A much more physical team that complemented their defense.
Good run there by Cook on 1st down, powering his way forward, a gain of 6.
Taken down at the 43-yard line. A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Down, but not before he gets it to the Panthers. 18, 39 yards there, a big one. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
Where they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside. They can bring the play down.
Nobody leaked, big play. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. And here's motion again. And that's going to be 2. Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
He'll get 3, but it leaves him with a big hole here on 3rd and very long. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Today's final score, Panthers.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guy